Welcome to our candidate interview featuring Mark Wingren, who is candidate for the Olathe School Board Member 1 position. I am Natalie Bright with the Olathe Chamber, conducting today's interview on behalf of the Johnson County Public Policy Council. Council is a collaborative effort of 10 chambers of commerce in Johnson County who collectively represent over 5,000 businesses. We developed these questions today, which are focused on business and community issues. So before we get started, Mark, I'd like to provide you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you've chosen to run for the Olathe School Board position number 1.
Hi, my name is Mark Wingren. I have lived in Olathe for almost 8 years. We have, me and my wife Laura have been married for about 10 years, a little more than that. We have 2 kids in Olathe schools. We have a second grader and a kindergartner at Clearwater Creek. And the reason why I decided to run for Olathe schools is because I saw an area that needs some attention because there's some issues with the 504 plan that my son has and him falling behind. And I saw that this issue needs to be resolved and that I think I could help fix the issue. And so I put my name in, and here I am.
Well, thank you, Mark. I always appreciate candidates when they sign up and run for office, because I know it takes dedication and service does not come without sacrifices. So thank you. We're going to get to the questions now, if you're ready.
Yes.
And this first one's pretty easy. As a school board candidate, what are your top 3 policy issues?
Well, I believe that in order to have an effective school district, we must put children and campus safety ahead of politics first and foremost. Also, the board is responsible for hiring and retaining the best teachers and staff that the current budget allows. So the board should be transparent, and we should encourage taxpayer and parent input and relay important information to parents in a timely manner. Resources should be used wisely, and underperforming schools should have a 3-step plan to ensure academic and safety progress is made.
Great. Okay, the next one's the big one always. What are your thoughts on K12 education funding?
My thoughts on K12 education funding. So funding and head count go hand in hand. With a declining head count, the district has sought to include pre-K students to its roster to make up for this. If the number of students declines beyond a certain level, the district may be forced to consolidate 2 or more schools. Teacher layoffs will be avoided, but administrative positions would cease to exist if a school were to be shuttered. So public perceived issues in the district are leading to parents sending kids to private and homeschooling. And we need to restore the trust of the parents to bring the kids back. No more politics, kids first.
Okay, great. Well, the K-12 education system requires accountability measures for students' performance, focused on post-secondary success and career readiness. Do you believe the district is meeting expectations for student achievement?
This is a tough one to answer. Low employment rates are skewed right now, and they don't take into account the workers who have simply left the workforce to pursue self-employment or early retirement or stay-at-home parents. So the schools such as Olathe West and its first responder training are doing a stand-up job. They're readying the kids for their careers. But this is a dynamic that needs constant attention, and we need to make sure that our district stays relevant with that.
And I think this next question probably folds into that a bit, and that is our low unemployment rates in Kansas, and that employers are struggling to find that qualified workers. How do you see the district helping to meet the business community's workforce needs in the future through those programs such as work-based learning and internships, training, and other career exploration opportunities?
Well, again, the high schools, I love what they do with that. The kids in our district can go to whatever high school that they want to that pertains to their career path. I think that it alone is huge, and that's going to help save a lot of time from these kids wasting 2 years out of college and realizing, oh, this isn't what I want to do. And then, that's 2 years that they're not in the workforce. So if we can streamline that and they come out of high school, they know exactly what they want to do. They go to college for it, or they go to vocational school for it. It's either way, it's a win-win. So a direct contributor, though, like how we could directly contribute, would be to hire the special ed teachers that we need. Right now, we're lacking over 200 special ed teachers. So that's 200 paychecks a week right there, local, right in Olathe. We can hire more paras. Paras are needed. We can pay paras more. We can privatize the school bus system and fix the school bus issues.
Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, here's a little shorter one. What are your thoughts on the efforts in the state legislature to expand school choice?
I think that it's a great thought, but I don't know if they've thought about the future, that what's going to happen because of it. There's going to be districts like let's say Gardner School District. Gardner is very well known and a wonderful school for children with autism. So, but right now they're staffed for it. They have the paras, they have the sped teachers. So what's going to happen when the outlying communities around Spring Hill and around Olathe decide, you know what, Gardner's a better school for my autistic kid or my kid with a 504 or IEP plan. Schools like Gardner, schools like Olathe, schools like DeSoto, Blue Valley, the schools that look like they're overperforming on paper, they might get inundated, and then we might come into a problem. We already have the problem. The problem might get worse because we might not be able to hire the paras and the extra staff fast enough. So I think it needs to really be looked at. In the first year, it should be the admissions program for it should be based on, do we have the resources to provide for these kids? Because just taking a kid in to our district, if we can't give the kid what he needs or she needs to succeed and to be fully educated, then we're not doing any service to anybody. So I think maybe we could say, all right, well, we have 200 kids that want to come in this district from out of district, and to cover these 200 kids, we're going to need to hire 6 more paras, and we're going to need to hire 4 more sped teachers or a reading interventionist or something like that. But we need to get those people hired before we bring those kids on.
Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think the greatest challenge is facing the Olathe School District?
So the greatest challenge facing the Olathe School District right now, I would say, would be reading and math scores. Between 2021 and 2022, the number of kids that are level 3 readers and in level 3 math has gone down, and the number of kids in level 2 in math and reading has gone up about almost 5%. What's happening, and I can see this firsthand because I have a child that has a 504 plan, my son in 2nd grade. He's got ADHD, he has a hard time focusing, and he's supposed to have one-on-one time. But right now, because the missing 200 plus sped teachers and the huge lack of paras, there's only 4 paras in our entire elementary school. For I think about 60 kids with 504 plans. They're not able to give these kids the one-on-one or the group time, because if like my son, he tested a level 3 on reading and a level 2 on math, so he's getting the small group help for math, but they won't give them the small group help for reading because there's too many kids under him that need help more. But what's happening, because there's no one else in the classroom and the teachers doing the small groups, is the level 3 and the level 4 kids they're saying, here's your assignment. We'll see you in half an hour. And that's it. And there's no instruction. There's no teacher. There's no babysitter. And all these level 3 and level 4 kids are going to end up falling behind. And it's going to be just a big circle where the 3s drop to 2s, the 2s go to 3s, then the 3s go back to 2s. And if we don't do something about it, the 2023 numbers are going to be worse than the 2022 numbers, I fear. So it's the big thing is what we can do to solve this. It goes back to retaining and hiring staff. So we have to keep our teachers on that we have on, whether that is, we have to bump their pay so these teachers aren't wanting to move to Blue Valley or Shawnee Mission where they pay better. We need to pay the paras more. We need to bring on these 200 plus missing SPED teachers. I think if we did that, the problems would definitely go away.
Well, that is a segue into the next question, and this is a longer one, so bear with me. If I need to repeat it, I will. But the Olathe School District continues to work to recruit and retain staff in order to sustain that quality education for their programs and services for students in the district. This includes teachers, paras, and other support positions. But in recent years, the number of students choosing education as a profession continues to decline, which creates a hardship for the district in recruiting. What are your thoughts on how the district can reverse this trend and attract more professionals into the profession?
We got to get rid of the red tape, the bureaucratic red tape. The teachers' hands are tied up. They can't do anything. These teachers are frustrated. They have classes with way too many kids. I can't thank my kids' teachers enough. I wouldn't be able to do it for a week. Let alone these people come back year after year. They're like saints. Their patience, I can't even match it. We need to pay them what they deserve. These teachers and staff and paras that are in the classrooms teaching our kids, they're guiding our future of America, and we need to stop paying them like they're working at McDonald's. There shouldn't be a choice that these teachers have to make between paying their bills and doing what they love. These teachers are obviously doing what they love. They're passionate about teaching kids. They love children. And I don't know that many people that can do this year after year, day after day with little kids running around screaming. If we have to figure out how to pay them another $3 or $4 an hour to retain them, then let's figure that out. That needs to come ahead of, and I know there's different piles of money that they take from, but we need to figure out in the budget, like what it's going to take. We need to do, like, bring it back down to zero and say, okay, here's what we should pay our bus drivers. Here's what we should pay our paras. Here's what we should pay our teachers. Here's what we should pay our administrators, and then say, okay, so now what's left after that? And then what's left after that is for the other stuff. But I think they're not really doing it that way. And I'm not real cued into that aspect of it. I'd love to learn more about how we can do that, but there's got to be a way. If Blue Valley and Shawnee Mission can do it, we can do it here too. The you look at our tax base, taxes are going up, mill levies are going up all the time. There shouldn't be any reason why we can't fund this.
I would agree with you. Teachers are superheroes, and I think we learned a lot about that during COVID. As a parent, it's a very difficult job. So, okay, last question. What makes you uniquely qualified to serve on the Olathe School Board, and what most distinguishes you from your opponents?
Well, I think what makes me the most uniquely qualified is that I would be the only blue collar guy, but or gal. I'd be the only blue collar person on the board. I don't have a doctorate. I never graduated from college. I don't work in an office. I fix air conditioners and heaters for a living, and I own a business with my wife. We streamline everything. We see ways to make things more efficient, and that's what we do. We come at it like I would come at it like more of a business aspect, and with the kids first. With the very first thing in mind is the children. I think in my meetings with some officials from the school board, I've sat down with some of these people for an hour talking to them, and the word child or kid or children never even crossed their lips in an hour. It's just systems and rules and regulations and funding, and it's like they've lost sight of the kids. So with me thinking kids first, everything else comes after that, and then streamlining the processes, and making this to where I can at least look at it more like a business, and say, okay, here's where the savings can come from. Here's where we can get the funding for this. Here's where we can get the funding for that. Work closely with our grant writers. I know a little bit about writing grants. I have a good friend that's a grant writer, and I think that Olathe is doing okay with the grants, but I think we could probably get more grant money. So I would say the thing that makes me stand out the most, that's the word I was looking for. The thing that makes me stand out the most, I would say, though, is definitely that I come from the working class background, the blue collar background, and I have a child with special needs that his needs aren't being met in reading and math, and I see it. And so it's deeply personal to me. I don't want to come across as a upset parent. I'm not an upset parent. I'm just like, it gets me emotional because it's so personal to me. But I don't want to see anyone's kid being left behind, let alone my kids. So let's fix this.
Well, Mark, thank you for answering our questions. There is an opportunity for a closing statement if you have anything else that you'd like to say to the voters.
So the last thing I want to say then is please go to my website, kidswinwithwingren.com. We need your donations for the campaign. We need to get more signs out. We need more literature, and the funds for that right now are not there. So please help if you can, and go on to kidswinwithwingren.com.
Well, Mark, again, thank you so much. This does conclude our interview for the Olathe School Board Member 1. Thank you for joining me today and participating in today's program. For more information about candidates' videos of these and other candidates' forums, advanced voting details, please visit the Johnson County Vote Joco website. Again, www.votejoco.com, and share this with other voters, with your colleagues, family, and friends. On behalf of the Olathe Chamber of Commerce, thank you for joining us today, and thank you for taking advantage of this important opportunity to learn more about the candidates. Mark, we wish you the best of luck in your campaign.
Thank you very much for having me.